Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here today for another list. I haven't done one of these in a little while, but this was a special request about a list of herbs that can be good throughout pregnancy. Now, I was actually asked for pregnancy and nursing, and when I started compiling these herbs, I decided I think it will be best if I do them as separate videos. So I'll be shooting another one later on about the best herbs to use while you're nursing, because there will be some differences. Now, some of these herbs are mostly just for the sake of their nutritional value, while others can be more specifically helpful to the pregnancy itself. And one thing that you should know is when it comes to culinary herbs, several of them should not be used in medicinal form, but are totally safe when being used as a flavoring in your foods. And you shouldn't be afraid of things like rosemary, oregano, thyme, and whatnot. And really, this should apply to any herb. Always use them more in the form of a tea during pregnancy and avoid using tinctures, extracts, and capsules. And the other thing I want to let you know is that I'm going to be linking to two of the different places that I gathered this information from, because I thought they were really well laid out and very good at explaining the benefits of these herbs, as well as the ones that you should avoid or use with caution. So please make sure, if you're really trying to do this research, that you also go check out those two links, and there's many more out there that you can do some research on for yourself. So this is just a compilation that I have to help give you a head start. So let's start off with peppermint. Peppermint, again, should be used in moderation in the form of a tea, but can be very helpful with nausea, gas, and bloating. Ginger, of course, is one that is quite common for pregnant ladies to use to help ease morning sickness, but it also does help to lower blood pressure. We know when we're pregnant, we have lots of extra blood in our system, and that can elevate the blood pressure, and some of that will be normal, but you also don't want it to get too high. So doing what you can to help ease some of that is going to be beneficial. Lemon balm for heartburn and to ease stress, and can even be helpful for pain relief, such as headaches and more. Oat straw is good for helping to have better blood flow and reduce the risk of varicose veins. Garlic, let alone the fact that it's great for using in your meals, it can also help to reduce blood pressure. Now, this one I thought was interesting. This is cranberry. We know that cranberry juice is really good for helping with urinary tract infections and whatnot. But cranberry can also lower the risk of preterm labor and low birth weight, as well as with hypertension and anemia. Thyme can be helpful for nausea, gas, and is a natural antioxidant. Rosemary, let me say again, this one you got to use with caution. Do not use this as a supplement, and certainly don't use any of these as essential oils to take internally, but as a tea or in just seasoning your food. It is a great antiviral, antibacterial, and antioxidant. Chamomile can be very calming and soothing. It is also anti-inflammatory and also a natural antioxidant. Raspberry leaf, and let me stress, this one should only be used in the late term, but this is good for helping to condition and prepare the uterus for giving birth, easing labor pains, and to speed recovery. So immediately following delivery, continuing to drink raspberry leaf tea can be very helpful. Stinging nettle was one of the ones that's going to be pretty safe. You can use it as a side vegetable or adding it to dishes as a vegetable, but drinking as a tea, you're going to get a lot of the nutrients, because stinging nettle is very rich in many nutrients, but it can also help reduce the risk of preeclampsia. Dandelion is another one that is nutrient dense, and because it is a natural diuretic, it can help reduce swelling. So you know how it is, you swell in your ankles and your feet. So this can be very helpful for that. Dill is really great for its nutrients. This one surprised me a little bit simply because you always think of dill as just being something you add to pickles and whatnot, or making ranch dressing and such. But it can be good for just its high nutrient value. That is what kind of surprised me about that. So that was really good to learn about that. And then, of course, echinacea. I typically will use the leaf, and especially in the case of pregnancy, I recommend sticking only with the leaf and using it in the form of a tea. Again, like anything else in here, either tea or seasoning your food. And of course, we know that echinacea is good for boosting the immune system, which is going to be necessary during pregnancy because pregnancy does take quite the toll on our bodies. So any way we can help to boost our immunity and just make us healthier all the way around is not only going to be good for us, but of course for the baby. Now, I'm going to list off just a few of the herbs you should avoid. And the reason why these herbs, as well as many other herbs that you're often told to avoid or use with extreme caution, is because a lot of them can cause uterine contractions, which obviously during the pregnancy, until you're ready to deliver, these are not something that you want to happen. So the herbs I wrote down, but there's more in one of those 2 links I put down below. That would be yarrow, feverfew, hops, wormwood, and juniper berries. And again, along with many others. So I recommend you check that out. And then the other thing I want to say is sometimes I'll get people that will watch one of my videos where I've done an herb profile specifically on the benefits of a certain herb such as plantain, and people will come in and say, can I use this during pregnancy? Off the top of my head, because it's been 30 years since I had my last child, I'm not going to know for certain all that because I haven't researched all the specifics on every single herb. And so what I recommend for each person is to research those individual herbs yourself. So if you don't see it in any of the 2 links or any other links that you research on your own, then you may have to specifically look for it by putting in a search such as, can I use plantain during pregnancy? Or can I use blank herb during pregnancy? And you should be able to get something more specific to that herb in that situation. But I will say again, in most cases, herbs that a lot of herbs, especially your culinary herbs, are going to be safe as long as you're only using them in the form of seasoning your food. And so that should be no concern. And you should just go with the basic, don't use any herb, especially one that you don't know enough about, in a medicinal form, such as capsules or tinctures or extracts during pregnancy, and just play it safe. Just stick with the teas, and then do more research on the individual herbs you would like to learn more about. If you would like to see more of these types of lists that I've put together for various either health issues or things that can help with things like having healthy hair, healthy skin, and whatnot, I'm going to put that full playlist in the description box down below so you can scroll through that list and see what all's in there. And if you have any thoughts, ideas, suggestions you would like to share, please put those in comments down below so others can learn from you as well. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.